following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations.
How do businesses come to be? Do people draw inspiration from other businesses that are already existing, or does the fact that some sort of hardship or some sort of personal experience that they have already faced inspire them to start up their own business to sort of cater to the problem that they have faced? Now, we are going to have a discussion with one such individual who found a solution for a hurdle that she had to face and made a business out of it, quite a successful one. So welcome to Business Best, a platform that we have created to show you very successful entrepreneurs that we have here in Sri Lanka and business ideas that you as our viewer could maybe cash up on. Now, joining us in conversation today, we have Ms. Lasni Silva, the founder and the CEO of Lacta Boost. Hello and welcome to the show, Lasni.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Now, as in par with my introduction to our show, a lot of people come up with business ideas for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's a family business that they have been inspired from, that they want to continue, or it's a childhood dream that they want to achieve, and they make a business out of it. And then, like in your case, you faced a problem, you found a solution, and you wanted to help others overcome such problems. Before we get into the depth of your business, your product, and how it came to be, let's talk about you. Who is Lasni Silva?
So Lasni Silva, right now, first and foremost, is a mother of two. I have two little babies. One is 4 and the other one is 2 years old. And I am actually a chemical engineer. I don't come from a nutritional background or a medical background. I come from an engineering background. So this product is not something that I would have ever planned on creating. It kind of came to be through my own struggles and my own will to kind of make sure that no other mom would have to face the kind of issues that I did.
So since we are now going into your product, let's talk about your business, your product, and what exactly it is.
Okay, so Lacta Boost it's actually a range of lactation food products. We make cookies and granola. We've included certain key ingredients that help support milk supply in breastfeeding mothers. It has a very strong nutritional element in it as well. So the 3 key ingredients are oats, nutritional yeast, and flaxseed, right? And 2 of these ingredients have this one component called beta-glucan, which is an ingredient that elevates the prolactin levels in the bloodstream. So in turn, this prolactin is actually what is responsible for breastfeeding. So that is kind of the background of how it supports the breast milk supply. So there have been research papers and animal studies done about this. Not a lot of clinical evidence because the concept of lactation foods is fairly new globally. So even in the global market, there haven't been lactation cookies or food products for like over the past 10 years. Only the market has quite developed. So yeah, that's my product, and we've also just launched a range of nutritional, healthy, regular cookies for regular people who are not breastfeeding, called Brunch Lane. We've sub-branded it, but yeah, our main product is Lacta Boost.
All right. So now, initially I mentioned that it is a problem that was caused that sort of inspired you to come up with Lacta Boost. Now, Lacta Boost or any sort of lactation cookie is not something that a lot of Sri Lankans know of. So, of course, in the international market, it makes sense that people know, okay, there's something that people or expecting mothers or mothers in general could consume to sort of help the process. Yes. Now, you have broken that barrier and brought in a product called Lacta Boost to help breastfeeding mothers. What really inspired you to do it? Now, you said that it was a problem that you faced, and how did this cookie come about?
Absolutely. So when I started, so actually before I started, when I had my first baby, I really struggled with breastfeeding her. So we went to doctors, lactation consultants, and it's all very confusing to a new mother who has a recovering body, who is struggling to breastfeed, trying to nurture this creature who cannot sustain on its own.
same time recover yourself.
Trying to recover yourself as well. So I had actually a very, very traumatic C-section, which might have been the reason why I had trouble with breastfeeding. So during this period, we had to introduce formula to her. It was all very stressful and difficult for me. And at that time, there were like 3 or 4 brands of lactation cookies internationally, and I found it online, and I actually got one down and tried it. So after that, it's extremely expensive. So I was like, why are we not doing this in Sri Lanka? Because there are so many mums. I have other mum friends who also have kids around the same age. So it's like, why aren't we doing this here? So then I started baking cookies for my friends and for myself. And I just posted a picture on Facebook of the cookies with a small ad, not an ad actually, we just posted it on a group or something. And I got a few orders, and actually Lacta Boost grew to this level through the promotion of customers. Our main source of marketing is not marketing at all, it's word of mouth. So mums promote it to other mums, and that's how we've actually grown. We've been pushed here by our customers.
I think it's the difference between a normal cookie or like a commercial product and a lactation cookie is that now they say something that mothers need to have confidence in. End of the day, if there's any sort of an impact from this cookie to their milk production and ultimately to the baby, they're not going to want to do it. They're not going to want to buy it from you. But since you mentioned that this was completely advertised from word of mouth, I feel like you have gotten the confidence of mothers, and that's one thing that's very difficult to get, especially in this day and age. And for a mother to really trust such a product is I think way beyond what you would have planned. But I think it stems from the fact that you yourself used it. You were the person who tried and tested it, and then thereon after it worked for you, and you can confidently put it out in the market to be like, it worked for me, it can definitely work for you as well. When did this all start?
So I had my first daughter in 2020. So about 6 months later is when I sold the first pack in September of 2020. So 6 to 8 months later.
This is in the heat of COVID as well.
Yes. So we were actually stuck at home with COVID, and my baby was also very small, and so my husband, my mom, everyone was at home. So I had a little bit of help with the baby as well. So we had to figure out how to source ingredients, how to get delivery going out, everything from home. So basically the entire business was built around me not being able to go out of my house. So, which actually worked out in the end, because we have a very stable delivery partner. We have very stable sources of to get ingredients from, and even now we use the same people, and it has grown in that way. Yeah. So COVID actually helped.
In this sense.
In this
Of
case.
course, during COVID, now you mentioned that's where the business started up.
Yes.
And how has it changed from the initial startup during COVID up to now in 2024?
So during initial startup, I was the one who baked. I was the one who did the Facebook advertising. I was the one who did everything on my own. So now we have a bit of a team. I have an amazing team, a wonderful team. Most of them are mums themselves. So we all have tiny 3-4-year-old kids and tots. So it's actually, it's amazing. I have a beautiful team who supports me. And we've actually just opened our own manufacturing facility in Rajagiriya this month. A few weeks ago we started production there. So now everything is happening around that hub in Rajagiriya. Yeah.
Now, COVID, of course, had a positive impact on your business.
Yes.
That's where it started.
I know it.
Did the economic turmoil, did you had to float through that, or how did that work?
That was terrible. The economic crisis was really bad because of the fuel shortage, right? Because these are people who don't go to shops and buy stuff. We have to deliver it to their house. So our business was mainly online. And during the economic crisis, because of the fuel shortage, cookies were not going out to customers. Mums were calling and crying and scolding us, and there was so much of problems during the economic crisis. That and sourcing of materials was also very difficult because there were egg shortages and flour shortages. So we didn't float through it. We kind of dug our heels to the ground and worked through it. It was tough. We made some losses during that time. But we managed to stay afloat, I think mainly because our customers were so understanding. So when I tell them there's no way that I can get this product to you right now, they were understanding and they would try and come and pick it up from my place. Or, I have amazing customers.
I feel like you have a business model have thrived through because of customers.
Absolutely.
Like from the get-go itself, from them being the word of mouth, them being the advertising part of it, and then now them being quite understanding the economy during the economic turmoil. And I feel like when it comes to lactation cookies or anything of a medical grade food or a beverage item, is the fact that you can't really make it in huge batches, right?
No.
And since this is for lactation, it makes it much more difficult to sort of ensure the quality of it and stuff. So is everything locally sourced?
90% of our ingredients are locally sourced. There's one ingredient called nutritional yeast that is not available in Sri Lanka, so that we had to bring it down from abroad. But everything else, including oats, we buy oats from a supplier who mills it in Sri Lanka. So large name brand suppliers, we always use large name brand suppliers with certifications and everything, because we need to ensure quality. And we don't add any preservatives or additives or colorants to our cookies. It's all natural. So because of this, mums are confident in buying our product because it's just as good as they're making it at home, right? So I think because of this reason, most customers promote us because it's all natural and it's good for anyone. So when they buy a tin of cookies, the entire family ends up eating the cookies, even though it's primarily for the breastfeeding mothers. So this is why we actually had to bring out the additional brand for regular people.
That's what I was also wondering. I was very keen on when I first heard about your story, and then I was thinking, okay, these are lactating cookies, and then that probably must be tasting really good. But I was wondering, okay, so I can't eat it. And then I was wondering what to do. But then now that you mentioned that, like the families bought it, and the families were also enjoying it to the point where you had to come up with normal cookies, I feel like, again, customers help you diversify.
Absolutely.
And then the people of your business have, of course, helped you come up with different ways of conquering different sorts of business difficulties and staying afloat. Now, there's a lot more to talk to you with regards to all the challenges that you face as an entrepreneur, and how you are a mother, and there's, of course, a lot of challenges that entails with that as well. But we'll get into all of that right after this short break. This is Business Best. Welcome back to Business Best. We're currently in conversation with Ms. Lasni Silva, the founder and CEO of Lacta Boost. Now, last time before the break, we were talking about how Lacta Boost came to be, how you have figured out the fact that it's a problem that you faced, but you found a solution and you made a business out of it. Now, being a female entrepreneur has a lot of, let's call it, negative stigma around it, quite similar to having a female driver. But you are living proof that all of that is not in fact true, and that a female such as yourself, a mother such as yourself, can actually maintain a balance in both, be a successful entrepreneur and also ensure that your motherly duties are not missed. How has that journey been for you so far?
It has not been easy. It has been extremely difficult, and I wouldn't call it a balancing act. It's more like whoever needs me most at the time. So when the business needs me more, I have to leave the kids with someone else. But when the kids need me, when they're sick or something, I have to be there for them, and the business suffers. So it's kind of like a daily kind of struggle where you deal with whatever comes up on that day. So you can't really plan out a lot of things. So it's not easy. But I honestly think for a lot of moms, most of them who have been working before having babies, they struggle with staying at home. I've spoken to a lot of moms as well who stay at home after babies, and they want to do something. They want to start working again or start a business or something. So what I always say is just start something small. I started in my kitchen with a tiny hand mixer, so you can start something, and who knows, something could come out of it eventually, right? So that's what I always say. And moms can honestly do anything.
You're raising kids, you're raising little human beings.
Absolutely. So moms are so strong. We're stronger than we know. So once you start, it kind of happens.
Now, with all of this business modeling, with your customers in line, and taking into consideration what they've done for your business, and the perseverance that you have had as an entrepreneur throughout this journey, what does the future of Lacta Boost look like?
So we've had a very loving and very caring community around us all this time, and even my employees work with all their heart, and it's been a wonderful journey so far. Now we're actually looking at expanding, so the new manufacturing facility is actually a part of that. We are in the process of getting ISO, GMP and HACCP certified for the facility, and we're looking at the export market, to be honest. That is kind of our next step. So all this time when someone asks me what's your next goal, I would say the manufacturing facility, but now that it's done, export is actually our next step.
Now, if you're expecting mother, or maybe a mother who's currently having difficulties in lactating, wanted to reach out to you to take a look at your products, how could they do that?
Yeah, they can actually now visit our location in Rajagiriya in the Derana place, or they can check our website www.lactaboost.lk, or our Instagram or Facebook, also lactaboost.lk.
Or, of course, have a conversation with the most recent mother who would have possibly had Lacta Boost to her support, and you might just get a good review about it. Now, of course, we spoke about Lacta Boost. Let's talk about you a bit more. Now, Lasni Silva would have had to sort of navigate through a lot of things. You had the COVID-19, from the inception of your business, you're like, okay, this worked for me, let's make a business out of it. To going through the economic turmoil, oh my God, like everything is falling apart, there's a lot of delivery issues. And then now you have come afloat, you have successfully made it out of that tunnel. And then you have opened up your newest facility, you're hoping to go tap into the export market. Your community, your customers, your employees, all of them are very good and they are quite helpful and everyone's happy. You're having a very successful business. But amidst all of that, you would have had challenges.
Oh, yes.
You would have challenges. And I feel like for our viewers at home, or people who are mothers, who are, like you said, at home, who were working people before, but wanted to start something new, but are kind of lost at the moment, how did you navigate yourself through all of this? How did you stay motivated?
Well, I do have a very supportive family. Shout out to my husband and my kids. Even my kids are very supportive. And my mom, they all support me in this. So it's kind of difficult to do it on your own, because when you have kids, you need to have people who can take care of them, who can sort you out when you have to. There are instances where you just cannot be in two places at the same time. So I did have a lot of support there. But more than that, I think it's just the fact that we've taken on this responsibility for society. That's how I feel about it now. I can't stop it now because we've taken on this kind of responsibility, and we have to make sure that it's done, and it's kind of now our problem. So that's how I look at it. I don't see it as motivation to keep pushing through, but more of a thing that we have to do. We have no choice.
So that's the motivation, the sort of vision and the mission behind the business that you have. Now, if I'm to ask you to give an advice, or rather maybe a series of advice, to anyone who is watching us right now, who wants to start up a business, be it a mother, be it a female, be it a male, whoever it is, of whatever age, as an entrepreneur, as a successful entrepreneur, what would you say?
I would say definitely start doing something, like not spend a lot of money and jump into a business that you know nothing about. Start doing your market research, start asking people about it, do a prototype of your product. So a lot of people write down business plans, make very elaborate business plans, but nothing comes of it. And people have ideas often. There are so many people who have lots of brilliant ideas, but nothing comes of it. So just do something, start doing something, do market research, do the kind of things I've said. So just get started on it, on your idea.
So you find something, you get it going.
You get it going, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Now I have one last question. Now I, of course, asked you how you stayed motivated, and now that you've given us an advice as well, is there any sort of experience that you can share with us that you find as the most monumental thing that sort of changed the trajectory of your life? Now you mentioned that you are coming from an engineering background, and now you are an entrepreneur. Throughout that change, is there any sort of significant, say, milestone or a massive change that just changed your way of, or rather the course of your life? Is there anything that you can share with us?
So I would say, so I am actually a part of a lot of female entrepreneurship groups. There are lots of associations for female entrepreneurs, and I was running the business from 2020, but it was in a very small scale. I was also working. I worked until 2022. So after that, I quit my job and I focused full time on this. And that change happened when I was selected to be a part of this incubator program done by Hatchworks. So shout out to Hatch as well. So they selected me as one of 7 entrepreneurs, and they gave us a grant and they gave us training. So there are so many things that can support you as female entrepreneurs. And that was kind of the turning point where I got the confidence that, this is a real business and we can actually grow this into something. So we got a lot of training there. And after that, we won an award from the WCIC, Women's Chamber of Industry and Commerce. And so there have been things that kept me kind of confident that we're doing the right thing. And I think that first program with Hatch was what turned things around. Yeah.
I like how the fact that you had started off in the engineering field and then you sort of got inspired to become an entrepreneur. That is also through something that benefited you, and then you felt like you need to share the same thing, the knowledge that you have, with everyone else for their betterment. And now you have come out of all of it as quite a successful entrepreneur. And the fact that you are here with us sharing your success story is, of course, a brilliant thing as well. So thank you so much for joining in today's show. And all the very best to you and, of course, to your business as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Now, for all of you who are watching us, if you're also like Lasni right over here, you can also maybe draw a little bit of motivation from her story. And if you do have any sorts of problems that you would have solved by yourself, and if you feel like that is a market that you can tap into to sort of sell off your solution for everyone else, do take that leap of faith. It just might work out. So we were just in conversation with Miss Lasni Silva, the founder and the CEO of the Lacta Boost. You can also catch up on all of our previous episodes on www.youtube.com/otherderana English. We'll see you next time with yet another inspirational episode. This was Mrs. Best.